What's up, everybody? Welcome to No Chill Zone. I am Dani Renee, and I am here with two beautiful, lovely ladies, of course. And I want you guys to go ahead and introduce yourself. Starting with you.
Hey everyone, I'm Danielle, and I'm a hair and makeup artist.
And I'm Sharick LaMay. I am a creative correspondent and hostess and friends with these ladies.
Yes. And we've done a video together too.
Yeah. Hi
guys. So we just got finished watching the Nappily Ever After movie on Netflix, and we just wanted to kind of sit here and debrief and talk about it and give our thoughts. And maybe we should also rate. I think we should rate the movie like on a scale of 1.
Yeah, I did it as soon as we.
I know you did. So we can let them know. We can let you guys know what we decided what this movie was. So basically, if you haven't seen the movie, this is going to be a spoiler alert. So just let you know right now. But basically, this movie has Sanaa Nathan, and she's the lead character, and she is always into her hair, and she always has to be this perfect, just perfect woman. She's in this relationship, and she thinks that the guy is gonna propose to her. He ends up not proposing to her, and then she just ends up going through this cycle of just fully loving herself and fully being able to express herself and being happy with who she is. So I'll let you guys.
Well, what her what her boyfriend of 2 years said to her that made her go through this whole process of looking in the mirror and figuring out okay, well, who am I really behind this perfect picture woman, is he told her that being with her was for 2 years was like being on a first date for 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is kind of deep, because it's like she never unveiled herself to him, and when you're in a relationship, whether you're the guy or the girl, that's important. People want to see your ugly, your beautiful in between sides. They want to know
are you silly?
Yeah, they want to know, are you silly?
Yeah.
Can you be my homie and my friend? Can we go to the movies with sweatpants on? Mm-hmm. Do you have to have your edges gelled down in order for us to go grab a burger?
Yeah. Dudes talking about edges like that? Do dudes really say that? She's talking about your edges.
No, but I'm saying they're just can you just go with the flow? Can you just let your hair down?
Just 100% be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And she hadn't revealed that, and so he was just like,
I don't know who I would be marrying if I made that decision.
Yeah. Exactly. And this all stemmed from the relationship that she had with her mother. Her mother was always talking about her hair. The opening scene, one of the opening scenes is her at a pool, and all the other kids, it's all these white kids, and they're all having a good time, and she's wondering why can't I get in the water and have a good time? Mm-hmm. And that's one of the struggles that we have as growing up black, is when we get in the water, our hair's gonna poof up, it's gonna curl, it's gonna do some other stuff that you don't see other races' hair doing. So that was kind of the big picture of everything. It was her hair was the main source of everything.
It was the thing that was keeping her from being able to
be herself
and have fun. Just have fun.
Yeah.
Well, I would say it wasn't her hair that was. Her hair was just an effect. Mm-hmm. It was the Band-Aid that was over the deeper rooted issue that stemmed from her mother and her mother's desire for this perfection. And because she is a black woman and she's in the advertising industry, she felt as though she had to always put on this front. And I think it was interesting that they had her have the career that she had as an advertising agent in the beauty spectrum. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about this visage and how we portray ourselves and what's going to get people to sell, and sex sells.
Yeah.
And, so really her hair was just a condition of what was already deeply rooted inside of her psyche, and it was a generational thing, as they showed with her mother. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, why do they keep using the same mom?
I know. It's 3 moms that they rotate.
It's the same mom. It's the one that the loud one.
Yes. What's her name?
We need to have a list of all
the one that always sings with Brandy.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm thinking of.
I know her name.
If it's not her, then it's
it's Auntie. Auntie, the one from the grandma from Blackish now.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I know her name. Like
we're gonna put that on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I
And
just
then
cannot.
Loretta Devine seems to be a pretty rotated mother.
But she's not usually the mother that's like snobby.
No, she's not.
She's usually
She's
the
not.
down home mom.
Yeah.
No, in the jump in the broom, wasn't she like the snobby
No,
mom?
she wasn't.
no.
She was the one that wanted her son to jump the broom. She wanted him to stick with
Oh,
his
she was
culture.
sick with his roots, and then it was
Yeah.
Paula Patton's character who was like, "We ain't doing that." What really got me is when she was talking to the guy who owns the beauty salon, and he was saying like, how does that what defines beauty? And she said that it's society. We give people what they want, and we tell them.
So
what is
he was
beautiful.
blaming the media. He was
Right.
putting the fault on the media for creating this culture of beauty. To whereas we look up to the European standards of beauty. We don't look at the kinky hair and all of the different spectrums of all of the ethnicities. And he was saying it's their fault. But she countered his statement and said, well, we're only giving the people what they want.
Right.
So it works hand in hand. We give if the people want, nappy, that's what we're going to feed into. That's going to make us money. But that obviously isn't what it is. So they feed off of one another.
Right.
So I think the mindset of the people is what makes the standard. And then the media industry and the advertising industries go hard on it. You know what I
The
mean?
mindset of what people though? Like who is controlling this? Because like obviously it's like we're consumers, right? But like it's the people at the top that are making those decisions,
Well,
right?
Even in the movie, when she had the opportunity to pitch for a different type of advertisement,
It's like a sports.
it was a
beer.
beer. Okay.
Yeah, it was a beer advertisement that she had the opportunity to pitch for, and she was going up against two white males, and she had this great, funny, and very unique way of advertising the beer, and it seemed as if her superiors liked it. And then as soon as the guys present, mind you, they didn't even have a presentation board. They didn't have any kind of
They didn't even get up.
they didn't stand up at all. And so I thought that was significant as well. Like these two.
I would say that was outdated though. I feel like that part of the movie, that was one of, and I'll tell you about my grade later. I felt like that part was so typical and so outdated. Maybe in the 90s and in the 80s, you probably would have seen something like that. And I only say that because I'm from a PR background.
Okay.
I know that wouldn't have worked normally. Like I've even know people who are in the advertisement space. That I think that was a little overkill, but I get her point. I get who the director was. I get what they were trying to say. I don't think it's that severe though.
Right now, like aren't women kind of leading in PR right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Hey, PR girl.
yes, this is for you. Hey, going back to the movie.
Let's talk about the head shave though, because I think that's another thing. I mean, the whole thing.
I love that.
Aside from being a black woman, her making the decision to shave her hair, and I think even with all cultures, that's a big move. Even for Caucasian women, Latino women. Like how many Latino women do you see with short cut hair?
Bald heads.
You don't see that.
No.
So I
They
think
have to have they have to already have like a very bold personality where they're like, oh, okay, this is what I just woke up one day and this is what I wanted to do. Not like I went through this super sad, depressed stage.
Or this I had this aha moment.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I really enjoyed that scene for so many different reasons. It was because that scene of her just going and like it's liberating to cut your hair off and to be able to accept yourself. Like you see your full face. Like when you're bald, you see everything. You see your bone structure. You can't cover your forehead up. None of that. So to me, that was like super powerful for her being a woman, obviously a black woman, because we are so protective over our hair. And I just thought that it was powerful, and it was her loving herself, and it was her being okay with herself, even though in the scene she was drunk.
She had to learn to gain confidence. And her friend said it. The lady
she went to some circle.
She was like, "That's what's wrong with you.
She's like, you're not owning it.
You gotta own it.
You have to own it. You absolutely have
and
to.
And then, as a hairstylist, do you deal with that? Do you have this young lady, you had the opportunity.
Well, I'm crazy.
She came in ready, but
like shave it off.
I was like,
we're gonna gradually do this.
I was like, you sure?
Let's take it step by step.
I'm so excited.
No, but how do you feel about that?
As a hairstylist, I'm always willing to help the client go for it. Like, I'm all for the change in hair. I mean, literally, I literally just took my weave out a couple weeks ago. But
your hair look good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But I honestly, like, so I get a lot of women that are ready to cut their hair. They're ready to do something different, and then I also get women that are kind of indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I want to do something different, but I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
They may work in corporate, and they want to, or they may be interviewing, and they're like, okay, well, I don't want to go with this bright color yet. Let me get the job first, and then I'll go for the color.
Why do we have to do that?
And then I'll twist my hair out.
Yes.
I
hate that. I hate that.
And I was just talking to one of my clients about that last week, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna just wait on this. She was like, when I go through this series of interviews and then, you know, see which job I get, then I'll do the natural style. And I was like, you know, that's crazy to me that we still in 2018 have to deal with that. And that's something I've never had to deal with, because I've always
in your industry.
Before, I've never worked in corporate. So I've never had to deal with those type of politics or, you know, office politics or anything like that. So I can't relate to those experiences. I'm always like, just go for it. What are you waiting for? You know?
So,
but like, because I used to work with kids in an after school program and a summer program. I worked at a photography studio. So I've done other things, but I've always been able to be free when it comes to expressing myself. So I'm always like, go for it.
Yeah. I think a lot of the time, like for me, when I went into your shop and you cut my hair off, at first I was really, because I've been in between jobs, so like I was really nervous to cut my hair off, because it's like I'm trying to get a job, but also the creative in me is like, I don't care, like I'm gonna be fine and I want to be myself, you know. Like we went shorter and shorter. We put blue highlights. I was really nervous when we went blonde, because I'm like, well, what if this is gonna be extreme? He was like, girl, don't worry about it. They be going to date blonde too. And I'm like, you are absolutely right. Yeah. So it's like, I hate the fact that we have to think about being able to make other people comfortable. Like, why do I have to make you feel comfortable because of the way that I choose to wear my hair?
Then I have a question, and both of you can answer. Do you feel as though people responded to you differently when you did, like your day-to-day interactions were a lot different?
So I have an example. I was working at one of the tens of thousands of jobs that I've had. I was working somewhere in downtown LA, and this is when I had my shave size and I had singles at the top. Box braids, whatever y'all want to call them. And I was trying to get the job. I was trying to just get in there to get hired permanently. And the lady told me that she wasn't going to hire me, and I had asked her why, and she told me that I just wasn't the right fit. And I thought it literally had something to do with the way that I look, because I did everything right. Like, it's not that hard to be an administrative assistant. Like, it's not that deep. Why else wouldn't you have hired me? Like, why am I not a good fit? You know? And you start to think like, oh, well, maybe it's something wrong with me. You know, I remember when I had my hair like that, this white man comes up to me and asks me like, so how long have you been growing your hair out? Like, I was like, it's not my hair, it's just braids added on.
Okay, PSA. So
that really happened.
That's real. So he was being a jerk.
I have a PSA. White people, y'all zoom in real quick. Look at us. Zoom in right here.
Trying to be your friend right now.
Do not ask us how long we have been growing out our hair. It is rude, it is evasive, and it's just not necessary. Like, what good does it do to your life to know how long it took for me to put my hair like this? It just it doesn't make sense. Please stop.
And don't touch our hair. Keep your hands off of it. Okay?
Oh, you changed your hair? Yeah, you see it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, end scene.
Overall, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think about this movie with Sanaa?
Okay, how are we grading? Do we want to grade A, B, C?
Or we could do 1 through 10, or you could do an A, B, C.
I'm gonna do A, B, C.
Okay.
I'm gonna do A, B, C. We ain't no grading on curves either.
Okay. She a tough one.
Because I'm really into film, and I do want to make movies one day. That is my goal. And so when I watch movies, I kind of watch movies from like an analytical perspective. You know, and then of course, Yeah, well, you know, I love Sanaa Nathan, and I was telling them as we were watching the movie, like, I feel like she's done this before. I feel like she's playing the same character. It didn't feel like anything new. Yeah. I do appreciate, I think the only element that was different was the fact that she went ahead and shaved her head.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was, I think, the most profound and the most powerful, and I got the most from that. But other than that, the mother who's perfect, and
the mother was getting on my nerves.
The boyfriend that doesn't understand, and you know, all of that. I felt like it was very typical. So I said I gave it a C.
A C.
I gave it a C. C plus. C plus for the hair shaving aspect. And yeah, I just thought if it ended a different way that I think really resonated with me or wasn't typical, I think it would have been at least a B plus.
I would say for me, one thing that, like, my favorite scene was her cutting off her hair. It was a lot of things that were just kind of unbelievable in it that was just like, wait. So like when she broke up with him, but we didn't even know that they were living together, but they had been together for 2 years, and then they had ended up getting back together, getting engaged, but she hadn't even met his parents yet. That was weird. Like it was just little loopholes in there that just didn't, it wasn't believable and it didn't make sense. And some of the acting wasn't
corny.
Yeah, it was kind of corny. So I would say, so now of course you did a great job
as always.
But I do think that they could have challenged her character a little bit more. Yeah. Like the biggest thing that she did, because that affected her in her real life, was shaving her hair bald on camera, which was great and powerful. I do wish that the boyfriend, the husband or fiance, I wish that he would have brought more out of her. Like, why would you date somebody for 2 years and you feel as if like it's on a first date? Why didn't that conversation happen 6 months into it when you knew that you were going to be feeling this person? You let 2 years go by, y'all living together, and you still feel like you're on a first. Like that just was unbelievable to me. Like, why are y'all together?
It could have been more meat to the
yeah. So I get
kind of surface.
So that's kind of what irritated me a little bit. So my grade would be I'm gonna go with a C. A C. Just a solid C. No plus, no minus, just a C.
Okay.
Heather?
Yeah, I would actually have to agree with you guys on that, because it was just very predictable. At some point, all three of us predicted at least 2 or 3 parts of the movie.
We did.
And it was just like, yeah, we've seen this before. And I don't want to keep seeing Black movies being repeated so much.
And I think it's a little disappointing, honestly, because you think with something with this message, this type of message, for it to be as profound and for it to resonate with all of our lives, all Black women as a whole, you would want it to be on that Oscar level. Why can't we deserve it? Like, why can't we have a movie that depicts what we've gone through in our lives, more accurately, be on that Oscar worthy level? And that's a whole other conversation if you're going to say, okay, what deserves an Oscar, but you know what I mean, something that's distinguishable, something that's remarkable,
that was a great,
we deserve that amount of effort. We deserve the writing.
We deserve to not be a maid. We deserve to not be a slave. Mind you, we have had some really good movies, like what was the movie where there were it was
Gigi Airman?
No. It was women. It was
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures.
Yeah, but that was historical context. Yeah. If it's going to be something of a historical context based on a true story.
I mean,
well, that means you need to start making movies, girl.
Apparently. I think maybe too, it was probably still surface level. Maybe it was for younger women as well, younger girls. That's why I'm trying to keep that in mind too.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps it was for younger girls to show them. So that's why I kind of gave it. That's why I wanted to give it the C plus. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't. It was for us, but it was for the younger generation, the girls that are coming up.
But I think like what is that teaching them too, though? I mean, it's teaching them a lot. It's teaching them a lot, but I feel like it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
As you get older, as you grow, you realize that relationships are not like you see on Instagram. Like it's deeper.
Just go watch something new.
Right.
I mean, go watch that one.
Yeah.
It's the same movie.
Right.
So what's your grade?
It's a C, because the acting was
to be expected.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, to be expected. It was a predictable movie, but it was a lot of cute things that I liked about it.
Yes,
I thought. Yeah, I thought that the little girl I thought that she played her role really well.
Yeah, she was great.
Beautiful. I wish I need to know her name, but yeah, and I did like that. I did like the fact that although her boyfriend broke up with her, and then she kind of meets this other guy, and then it was kind of a typical ending, but not.
No, because she ended up single. She ended up by herself.
Yeah,
and I thought
she
they still left you presuming
that maybe they would probably
that they could.
It was up to the
But
viewer.
I did at least they left that part up to us, because normally you would see, okay, they have to break up, then she finds this other love interest, then they have, you know, her issues from her past relationship seep on over into this new relationship, then they part ways, and then she goes back to this other guy, and then she ends up, her heart is really with this new guy, and they end up back together. So
we want to see it.
It was slightly refreshing to see that the end was that she was just comfortable with where she was with herself, and she didn't end up with the new guy or the old guy.
I would like to see a movie where the old guy, who obviously has so much power over her psyche and so much control over her, I would like to see him come to her, hands open, heart open, and say, teach me.
Right.
We haven't seen a movie like that.
Where a man is being vulnerable.
Where a man becomes vulnerable after he has this role of being the dominant one. You know, where he kind of just comes to her like, I see your growth, sis. Like, teach me, bring me into your world. I understand you have these new experiences. Let me be a part of that as well. Let's do this. Let's work on our let's work on us.
I mean, that's really what it is in real life.
That happens in real life. So write it. Somebody write it.
You write it, girl. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Sharick. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you
for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you are following Sharick. Make sure you are subscribed to LaMay. Actually, shoot them all that information, girl.
LaMay is what it is. I'm Sharick LaMay, and then LaMay Limelight. We have our season 2 coming up, so stay tuned for that in mid to late October. And shout out to Josh, my co-host.
Hey, Josh.
And I am Frankly Beautiful _ on Instagram and Facebook. More so Instagram than Facebook though. And my website is franklybeautiful.me, where you can see nice gallery and your selfie slate deck and all of that
and get
stuff.
your life.
Yes.
So yes, that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.